Hi, second grade. This week we're going to be talking about main idea. We're going to be talking about main idea and details. There's a difference between main idea and details. Main idea is what's happening in a story or what's happening in an event. A detail are the little tiny things we see happening along the way. So for example, on my screen, I see a picture of the Chicago Bears. This is a Chicago Bears game. The main idea is the big event. What is happening? What happened here? So here, the main idea in my Chicago Bears game is that the Chicago Bears are playing football. The details are the teeny tiny things that are happening along the way. So for example, I see the Bears players, I see the other team, I see the football fans, I see that it's a nice sunny day, there's no clouds in the sky, the grass is green, and they're playing in Chicago because I see that this is the Chicago Bears stadium. This is Soldier Field. So the main idea, the big event, is that the football game is happening. But the tiny details are the who, the Bears, the fans, the where, Chicago Bears field, the football field, the stadium, and the little tiny whats that are happening. Let's say the Bears scored a touchdown in the first quarter, or the Bears quarterback got tackled by the other team. So the main idea is the big thing that's happening, which in this case is that there's a football game, and the details are the tiny little things that are happening along the way. Let's pull up another example of a book that we've already read. We've already read this book together as a class. It's Time for School, Charlie Brown. The main idea is what's happening in this story. The main idea, the big event, is that Charlie Brown has his first day of school. The little tiny details that are happening along the way are that he sees his friend Lucy and he tries to join a spelling bee, he messes up a word, he finds Snoopy, he ends up in the principal's office. Those are the little tiny things that are happening along the way. But the main idea is the big thing that happens. The big main thing that's happening is it's his first day of school. The tiny details are the little things that are happening along the way. Let's look at another example of another book we read last week. We also read First Day Jitters. What's the main idea in First Day Jitters? Think about it. The main idea is the big thing that's happening. The big main thing that's happening is that our friend Sarah is afraid to go to school. It's her first day of school. That's the big main idea. The main thing that's happening is that it's her first day of school. The little tiny things that are happening along the way is when she didn't want to get dressed, when her dad made her lunch, when she met the principal, when she stood up in front of the class, and at the end of the story when we found out that she was actually the teacher. So the main idea is the big main event. What happened? It was the first day of school. The details are the little tiny things that are happening along the way. I have one more example of another book we read. We read a book called The Day the Crayons Quit. So what's the main idea in this story? What's the big main thing that happened? Think about it for 1 second. The main idea, the main big thing that happened. The main idea, the big thing that happened is the crayons quit. That was the main idea. That's the main thing that happened. And the little tiny details that happened along the way were that the orange crayon and the yellow crayon were in a fight, right? The pink crayon was mad because he thought that it was a girl's color. The white crayon was mad because we hardly use the white crayon. So those are the tiny details that are happening along the way. But the main idea, the big thing that's happening is that the crayons quit. I'm going to give you a hint for how to find the main idea. Let's go back to our football game. What's happening here? It's a football game. So the main idea is a football game. The big thing, right? Let's look at this one. What's the title of the book? The title is Time for School, Charlie Brown. The main idea can always be found in the title. Use your title to find the main idea. So the main idea of this book is that Charlie Brown, it was time for school. Charlie Brown had his first day of school. The main idea in this book, First Day Jitters, let's look at the title, First Day Jitters. The main idea here was that it's the first day of school. It was the main character's first day of school. So that's the main idea, the big thing that happened. Over here, what was the main idea? The day the crayons quit. The crayons quit school. If you look at the title, you can always find the main idea in the title because the main idea is what the story is about, and the title usually gives us a little sneak peek about what the book is going to be about. So one more time, just to summarize what we just talked about, the main idea of a story is what's happening in the story. What was the big thing that happened? What was the story about? And the details are the tiny little things that are happening along the way. Who did it happen to? Where did it happen? You know, like who was there? What was the weather like? Why did it happen? So the details are the tiny things that happened. The main idea is the big thing that was happening the entire time. I hope this video helps. We are going to watch a couple more videos throughout the week that are going to keep helping us with main idea. And we will keep practicing main idea and details for the rest of the week.